Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Today's song pairs two singers that I would never have thought would be paired together. Philip Bailey and Phil Collins are both incredible artists on their own, but they both have voices that sit high and they often use their falsettos. And while that could work for blending, their natural timbres and style are so different, I would think that it would just clash. So I'm really curious how this is all going to come together. Let's get to it.
So we're here doing a video, which is kind of interesting because we're doing a video, making a video of making a video. You know, there's lots of things going on at the same time. It's not like the normal kind of promo clip.
Oh my gosh, this is like so fascinating right now. They somehow merged in the middle and blended their sounds, even though I thought it was going to be really difficult to do. They immediately started into that harmony together, and I was like, dang it, that works really well. It was like a little aneurysm moment for me. Okay, we're gonna talk about where that meeting is happening. Uh, we're gonna get into the song and discuss more about why it's working, obviously. I have to say though, I like this setup at the beginning. It's always nice to see the two people when this was filmed because this is really, really early for them. I've gotten to know these two singers, I think, from a lot of videos later in their career. So I have to keep in mind this is fresh, early career time. With Philip Bailey, right? I know him from Earth, Wind, and Fire, mostly from September Song and Boogie Wonderland right now, right? So upbeat and just like so dancey on stage with wild, fun costumes. And then when I think about Phil Collins, I'm thinking about Tarzan and I'm thinking about In the Air Tonight specifically. I've seen a few other things as well, but those are sort of like my staples of his voice and his style. It's intense and it's has a lot more gravity, I would say, versus Phil Bailey's, which tends to feel like really up. Oh,
Doing a video, which is kind of interesting because we're doing a video, making a video of making a video. You know, there's lots of things going on at the same time. It's not like the normal kind of promo clip.
I'm curious how this is tracked here because I feel like I can identify more of Phil Collins than Phil Bailey on the lower part, but I do wonder, have they doubled in the tracks as well? It would make sense to me that in most harmonies, we'd actually have Phil Collins on the bottom and Phil Bailey on top. That just has to do with the weight of the voice. Overall, it feels like there's just a little bit more thickness in the sound of Phil Collins' voice. We're not talking about their ranges, okay? Both men have really, really, really large ranges. They can cross each other probably as much as they want to. But when we're going to pair two people together in harmony, a lot of times you want the person with the slightly thicker sound or deeper sound to be on the bottom, and the person that sounds like their voice has a little more ability to be fluffy or soaring in quality to be on the top. I think that that's happened here, but there is some doubling that's happening, which makes it hard to be sure that, what if both guys sang both parts? one of the things that also is really working where they've come together, um, both men are using really wide shapes in the mouth. Uh, it if we had actually Philip Bailey, I would think I have a little bit more natural lip, like a little more verticality in his mouth. Though I have seen him go up with like that horizontal approach as well, and I think he's leaned into that even more because Phil Collins particularly has like this. It's a wide smile that's always in his sound. Huh. One of the other things that's really working is the rhythm and like the gosh. I'm gonna leave it at rhythm right now and come with a more specific word later. But Philip Bailey in his music, there's a lot of bounce in the song, right? So it feels like Phil Collins, who has extremely precise rhythm, especially as a drummer, um, he's made his approach to that rhythm in the vocal line just a little bit more springy. And maybe this is just also early Phil Collins. Maybe he was more naturally drawn that way, and then later on, especially when we have these long ballads like Tarzan, there's a totally different approach to rhythm that I hear there. Yeah, there's like a lot more snappy in the rhythm. I love the way we're getting all of these scenes of these two men working together. You can tell that there's a great vibe between them. It's like, honestly, it kind of reminds me of, like, it's actually even closer. They're closer in genre than the awesome vibe that I experience when hanging out with Will Ramos. I just adore this guy so much. And right, my background is opera, his is deathcore. Like, what in the world? How do these two, how do we vibe well? And it's just, I don't know. It's just good energy, good people. I love hanging out with Will, and I see these two that I was thinking, man, how is this gonna work? And you can tell in the pictures that there's just a nice connection, a nice vibe between them. That has more of the roundness in the sound in the top. That's a cool shot. This has to be so tight. Like these two have to be so specific in how they're combining to get this kind of merging of their voices. So I love that we were seeing some of that behind the scenes with them, and this idea of like, hey, like this took some practice. This took some decisions together. This took also just some really good vibing together in the first place. That always helps. Um, I I was thinking some about this idea of the verticality and the width, and it made me realize that even with both of these sort of filters that we have on the voice, when I think about voice, I'm thinking about it often, at least these days, more as a scientist would approach it. Though I guess, like the performance and the scientist in me are merged in this. And I think about it as first you take a breath, and then when you sing a note, that's phonation, that's creating a sound, that's the sound source here. And then everything above it is a filter. It's something that the sound is going through. From here up, we aren't creating additional sound. We're putting that sound essentially into a room. Is the room a bathroom in your mouth? Oh, that sounds weird. Is it the kitchen? Is it a closet? Is it dampened? The various positions of your tongue and your soft palate, your teeth, your lips, all of these things affect what the filter is that the sound goes through. So when we talk about more vertical filter, more space in here, you tend to have a little more roundness in the sound versus having something that's really wide here is going to often have the sound have a little more edge to it. And I think that even with all of the little shift in the verticality and the horizontal, I think that both men are sharing a similar goal, which is directness with the sound. It doesn't sound like it's necessarily marinating a whole long time. It's not a sound that's right? Inward facing. Instead, it has a lot of just directness. There's a certain easy accessibility right away to the sound. Ooh, nice. I love seeing that work there, especially because you can see the way that Phil Collins is almost directing it as a drummer would. But Philip Bailey has this like inherent bounce that's happening from his background, and it ends up like sinking into the beat that Phil Collins has set up. This is going by so fast. They have to be in sync. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Team. They help vet the various videos that I'm going to do because there's so many versions of each song. They know the things that I like. We also are often looking in the comments from y'all for which versions are best. So like there's a lot of work to do in choosing which version gets onto this channel. This is a really cool one. And I think some people might originally stray away from it because it has that commentary in the beginning. This is hilarious. It shows so much relationship between the two men, which is really the thing that's interesting interesting me most about the song. But this moment is, it's priceless. He's like, come on, Phil, we're going to do some dance moves. We're going to switch microphones dance. This is going to work. Did this ever work in performance? I'm really curious. That looks fun. Here we go. And you can really see the difference between the personalities. And honestly, so much of our personalities come out in our singing voice. I think it's really remarkable. It's one of the reasons I love voice so much, because you just get this authentic, unique person in each sound, right? Phil Collins here you can tell he's just a little bit more serious, whereas Philip Bailey is just having the time of his life. He's like, come on, line up, Phil. All right, are you ready? Here we go. I'm sorry, the look is so good. And the look of preparation.
All right, are you ready? Here we go. Go. Let me see. Wait.
That'll work good, Phil.
Wait. I'm trying to figure out how.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna head back a bit because I've been so caught up actually in this video that's showing just their interactions. You really get that sense actually of the two personalities and how they came together and brought each other up instead of detracting. This was put together so well for somebody like me that was thinking, how? And instead we've got this it's a brilliant combination, really. I think that we've taken the best qualities of both artists and essentially let each other borrow the shining lights in each. And the song is fun as a result, but also breezy and there is that edge that Phil Collins often has, but then just the pure spunk from Philip Bailey. It's become a combination of all of their best stuff. I love in the only way, hey, in the vocal line back there. We get this element of style that is really in Phil Collins' voice. He has there's like just a little bit more open-throatedness to his style, in the lowers in particular. And that's partly why they also have like a slightly thicker sound, I think. And that it brings that edge of his style into Philip Bailey's sound. It's such a cool moment. Right there. Hey. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait, is he trying to have the amazing costumes that Philip Bailey wears? I don't think I've ever seen Phil Collins wear something like that. But then again, I haven't seen some of his earliest work, so I don't know. Maybe he did dress up. I don't know. I just stopped the instrumental solo though, and I know you guys are gonna roast me. Sorry. I'll go back. Okay, here we go. Flappy wings. We call that flappy wings. We call that a butt shimmy. This is so interesting. This part in particular, you really get to hear that extra like lower styling that Phil Collins is pulling in that complements Phil Bailey's. But also, one of the things I've been remarking on throughout the song is the O vowel. O is a diphthong. It's made of an open O and a closed O coming together. O. You need to decide when you're going to be moving through that diphthong together if you're going to have a really tight ensemble. And I like the way that here We have actually movement in the line in Phil Collins' lower part, and it's just fascinating to hear this shift and how the two of them. It feels like they essentially are matching vowels at certain points on purpose, not allowing their own signature styles to be too uh, bullish, and instead really allowing the shape of the vowel to come together. There's that lower style. So that part is just so fascinating to me. Look at with Philip Bailey, he leaves his mouth and closer to that open O position, so that every time that Phil Collins, when he's going oh whoa whoa, when he opens up, it like momentarily matches Phil Bailey's mouth there. Yeah, now that I'm hearing it, I feel like Phil Collins was tracked twice on the lower harmonies there. And then I don't think it was Philip Bailey that was tracked on the lowers. But obviously, right now, we also have them just probably looping a course that they've recorded before and then jamming out and improvising, improvising on top of what that course was before. Nice rasp. Come on. I think that this pairing of them is really capturing that sort of easygoing fun of Philip Bailey here. And then Phil Collins, when he's going side to side, they're just still more serious and like a drive behind his voice. I love the way that in this part they're letting those individual natures shine a little bit more too, because it almost sounds like we get like a tasty moment from one singer and then the other singer and the other singer, but yeah, we still know that they can come together and blend. Ooh, that was a nicely gathered high note. Wow, this song was such a surprise. I'm blown away. They came together and truly created something greater than either artist. I think that the ensemble nature was really difficult, I think, to achieve something like that. And it feels like, yeah, there's a ton of work, a lot of dedication that goes into it, but I think that there was also just a little bit of magic, right? Sometimes two people just meet and they click, and you can feel that. This works. If you want to see some more analysis of each of these artists individually, I'm going to put up a playlist over here. And I hope that I'll get to continue listening to some duets like this. This was just so much fun to analyze. May you fall more in love with music every day.